Uh, I hope all of you can hear me well and you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone who's joining from mobile phone or someone who's in office, I would request guys, please be focused today because today's topic is very complex. We will be using multiple components और बहुत ज़्यादा confuse होने के chances है. So if anyone is doing something else, let me know how many of you are available completely so I can decide whether to take this topic or not. Today we'll be discussing VNet pairing, same thing which we have been doing, but what if it is in different tenant, or what if it is in different cloud itself, right? So for today we will do Azure to Azure. Maybe next time we'll do Azure to AWS or something. So sorry about that. Anyone who is not available, feel free to drop and watch the video later. If someone is using phone, I don't think so that would be a good idea, because we'll be clicking on many options and you will not even understand कि कहाँ से क्या copy हुआ, क्या paste हुआ, right? So I'll close this one first. I was just practicing something, the same practical I wanted to, and this practical takes a lot of time. Creating these resources itself will take 20 minutes or 25 minutes. Right, so let's start with this. And before we do that, do you guys have any questions related to yesterday's topic, VNet, anything? I'm giving you 2 minutes. Meanwhile, if anyone is joining from mobile, please switch it to laptop if possible. Uh, anyone has any questions related to VNet, please ask. VNet peering, please ask, because if you don't understand those topics, you are not going to understand today's topic. So let's take 2 or 3 minutes break sort of, and let me know or switch your uh, mode from phone to laptop, and then we'll start. Meanwhile, do we have Henty? Yes, Henty, what was your question? You said you created two VNets and you were not able to. I created two VMs, did peering, but haven't checked the connectivity. We'll check that as well. Let's go from Henty, and should be that will be a revision for you guys as well. So let's do that.
Yes, I created two VM in a single VNet, and another in another region. So VM 1 and 2, let's say in the first VNet. So VM 1 to VM 2 connection was okay, it was pinging, but VM 2 to VM 1 was not pinging.
Okay, we'll see that. Guys,
VM
whenever you send
2
some
to
queries to me, please make sure you share the user ID and password also for those machines so I can log in and check.
okay.
Right, so let's go
But
there.
I was not able to ping from VM 2 to VM 1, but I was able to ping from VM 2 to VM in another region.
Let's check that. And we'll check yours as well, Sana and Henty, both of yours, but not now. First, let me get started with the new topic first, because deployment is going to take 20 minutes. So while our resources will be getting deployed, that time we will look for these options what you guys have created. I hope I have not deleted your resource group or anything. So yesterday we needed a volunteer Good. Yes, Srishti, you're ready with your laptop?
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. So today we'll be talking about VNet peering over the VPN. Now, what is VNet over the VPN? I'll quickly explain it to you, and then we'll do a practical. Okay. Definition of the VPN. By the way, what is VPN? Can anyone tell me what is VPN?
It's a virtual private network. I mean, a logical network within your intranet, you can say. If I'm not wrong.
Okay. Anyone else? What is your understanding of VPN?
It's a virtual private network from which data goes via an encrypted tunnel.
Okay, that's correct. So now what we'll be doing is we will be using our VPN for VNet peering. Okay, we'll be using our VPN for VNet peering. So let's say, just give me a minute. Right, so what we have been discussing now, not able to hear, reconnect. Yes, what about you? Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yes, then please, Ibrahim, reconnect. Others are able to hear me. So what we saw yesterday, VNet peering within same subscription, VNet peering in different subscription. Anyone has any issues on that? Yes, guys, anyone? So today what we'll be doing is pairing between two companies. Let's say this is my company Tsoft. It's company A, I can say. And then we have a company, another company, which is company B. In this case, Shrishti will be doing a practical at her end. And the subscription which she is using, that is not a part of Tsoft. Names are similar, but do not get confused. That is a different tenant, that is a different directory. Okay, so don't get confused. These are completely different directories, different companies. Okay, so here I will create one VNet. Under VNet, we'll create subnet, the default subnet which we create. Right? And after that, we'll create a gateway subnet. What is that? I will explain it to you. A gateway subnet. Same thing Srishti will do at her end. And then I will have to create a gateway subnets, a virtual gateway, I would say. I'll explain it to you everything. Don't get confused. If you're not getting it as of now, that is fine. So this is the subnet where our virtual machines will reside, virtual machine or storage or anything. ये एक हमारा होगा gateway subnet which is required to do a VNet pairing between two clouds or from on-site to your cloud to Azure, or between Azure to AWS, Azure to GCP, anything will do. Okay, so this is what we are planning to do today. And we will do a connectivity between these two, gateway subnet to gateway subnet. This is the connectivity we are going to establish. Now tell me one thing, guys, based on your understanding and what we have been reading, what we have been discussing, that if someone from this subnet, a user from this subnet has a connectivity to this subnet, from this subnet to this subnet, someone has a connectivity. So can I say that by default connectivity will be here, it will go here and it will go here, or maybe in any other subnet? Is that the case? Or do I have to do anything else to connect these subnets? If I bring someone to this place, to this subnet, so my question is, are they by default connected to other subnets?
Yes.
Yes, right? Yes, please answer. Incorrect, correct, that is fine. This is not your the interview या कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं है. do not hesitate कि गलत होगा तो क्या होगा. Please answer, at least I'll know कि understanding कहाँ तक है, right? Okay, so yes, if there is connectivity to any subnet, by default you will have connectivity to other subnets. Why? Because subnets can talk to each other, right? Subnets can talk to each other. सारे subnets जो है एक VNet में वो एक दूसरे से बात कर सकते हैं without any configuration, right? These can talk to each other. So the only task I have as of now is to connect these two subnets, making a connectivity of these two subnets, right? So let's see how to do that. Before that, we'll check some definitions. So here we are talking about VNet, basic VNet peering we have already done. If it is in same region, it is called regional peering, or local peering, VNet peering. If it is in different region, it is called global VNet peering. वो सब हम लोगों ने देख लिया यहाँ तक, right? We saw कि दो different subscription में हो तो किस तरह से करते हैं. Now we are talking about is in two different tenants, right? One is in some other company, second is in some other company. Same method will be used. Same method will be used when we want to connect, or when we have to connect our Azure network to our on-site or on-premises or AWS. Okay, so be it Azure to Azure, be it Azure to AWS, be it Azure to GCP, Azure to on-premises. I hope as of now all of you know what is on-premises, right? I don't have to repeat it again. When I say on-premises, it means your legacy data centers. So for all of these, the connectivity method is same. It's VPN, and it is one of the connectivity methods. That is not the only one. We have plenty of them. We'll see them later. But today we are discussing VNet peering over the VPN. Okay, so this is what we are talking about. Components which we required to do this practical is will require a VNet. We will require a VNet gateway. So this is the gateway. VNet gateway will create one. A local network gateway, we will create one. We will require a public IP. A PIP means public IP. Okay, connection resources to connect between the private IPs. Okay. So all these things we will require. How to create a gateway, we'll see that. You will need a subnet, a special subnet called gateway subnet. Don't get confused सिर्फ नाम वगैरह सुन के. I hope all of you know what is a subnet, right?
Yes.
So now here we just want a subnet with this specific name. इससे कुछ भी चेंज नहीं हो रहा है, बस एक सबनेट चाहिए. जैसे हम प्रॉड पब्लिक वगैरह कर रहे थे ना, उसी तरह का एक सबनेट चाहिए, बट उसका नाम स्पेसिफिकली होना चाहिए गेटवे सबनेट. उसके अलावा कोई भी चेंजेस नहीं है. सो डू नॉट गेट कंफ्यूज व्हेन आई से गेटवे सबनेट. तो ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि व्हाट इज इट एग्जैक्टली, कहां से आ गया, हाउ टू क्रिएट वन. नो. Similarly, how you create a subnet, a prod subnet, a public subnet, subnet A, SN वगैरह जो भी हम लिख रहे थे, you just have to mention gateway subnet. In fact, there is a shortcut to create gateway subnet. I'll show that to you guys. Azure Bastion जब हम पढ़ेंगे ना, तभी आएगा कि you will require a subnet with a specific name, Azure Bastion subnet. So this is very normal thing for when it comes to Azure, that they require some subnets वगैरह कुछ ऐसा चाहिए होता है उनको, जो naming convention जिनका काफी ये है. Though it is not case sensitive. I mean gateway subnet का नाम आप इस तरह भी लिख सकते हो जैसे यहाँ पर दिख रहा है स्क्रीन पे, or you can write it in any way, but it has to be gateway subnet. Is it clear till now
Yes.
to all of you? Yes guys, to all of you.
Yes.
Okay, so that is what we'll require. And then you should remember one thing, VNet should have sufficient IP range. Who could explain this to me? What does it mean?
The cider block should be big enough.
Sorry, what was that?
Is it about cider block that it should
Yes.
contain like specific, not specific, but enough amount of IP addresses, or the range should be wide enough?
Right. So a cider block, the cider space which you have, that should have sufficient space or sufficient IPs so you can have a subnet. Now let me give you an example of that what does it mean कि sufficient ये नहीं होने का, required IP should be enough not less, right? That is also correct. So if I say 10.0.0.0 and this, let's say 25, what are the total IP? This is my CIDR block for my VNet. Okay, this is my VNet 1. How many usable total IPs am I getting here, guys?
It will be 256, and if we remove the reserved ones, it will get reduced to 251.
Fine. So 256, 251, I'm comfortable with both of them. Now the next one, I'm using a subnet 1, and I'm using, this is for my subnet. How many IPs did I use here?
256, all of
56.
them.
All of them.
56.
Now I'm saying कि इस environment में मुझको I want to connect this VNet to a different VNet which is there in some other company. And what is the requirement of VNet? What is the requirement of VNet over the VPN? That I should have a subnet named gateway subnet. So now here, can I create a subnet, another subnet, be it subnet 2 और gateway subnet? किसी भी तरह का कोई subnet बनाने का scope छोड़ा है क्या मैंने यहाँ पर?
No,
Why not?
because it used all the IPs.
Correct. Did you get it, guys? All of you? If you are not getting it, आगे का कोई practical नहीं समझ में आने वाला है. So please, if any one of you not getting, please let me know. Jafar bhai, what about you? Sanmitra, Srishti, Juhi, Ibrahim, Avnish.
It's clear.
Got it, bhai.
Okay, Irfan, I hope this is clear for you.
सुल भाई इब्राहिम
Yes, Ibrahim bhai.
शॉर्ट में थोड़ा समझो ना फिर से वो कनेक्ट नहीं हो रहा था आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही थी मुझे एकदम शॉर्ट में समझ जाऊंगा
Now, which part did you miss?
एक्चुअली स्टार्टिंग से मिस किया मैं अभी लेकिन कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्या है अभी का वो मुझे पता नहीं चलता
Okay, no worries. वो वैसे भी काफी बार repeat होता रहेगा. ठीक है. So what we are doing here, that yesterday or before this, what we discussed, that पेयरिंग ऑफ टू वर्चुअल नेटवर्क्स विच आर इन सेम सब्सक्रिप्शन और विच आर इन सेम टेनेंट, मतलब एक ही कंपनी के अंदर जो दो नेटवर्क है उनकी पेयरिंग हमने सीखी. वहां पर काफी इजी होता है क्योंकि एक्सेसेस वगैरह बहुत सारे इश्यूज नहीं होते हैं वहां पर, राइट? यू आर द ओनर ऑन बोथ ऑफ देम, तो आप सिंपली जाते हो वीनेट पेयरिंग कर देते हो एंड दैट इज इट, दैट्स ऑल यू डू, राइट? बट नाउ टुडे व्हाट वी आर डूइंग इज वी आर लर्निंग VNet peering between two companies, two different companies, two different tenants. Like we have company A, in this case Tsoft, and we have company B, could be any name, right? So today we are planning to pair these two networks. So to pair these two networks, what is a requirement? That your VNet should have a subnet other than your normal subnet. Ek subnet to hoga obviously. Can you have a machine without a subnet? No, you cannot, right? So to create a machine, to create something, ek subnet to वैसे ही होगा आपके यहाँ पर VNet में. But to configure this connectivity, you will require another subnet, and that subnet has this name. That subnet should be with the specific name called gateway subnet. ये बस उसका नाम है. It is similar to your normal subnet, जो public subnet वगैरह रखते हो भाई. So I was asking that if we should always have, we were on this point, it says you should remember one thing in a VNet, you should always have sufficient IP range available for VNet gateway subnet. So here I was discussing or describing that if you have a VNet जिसका CIDR block ये है, using this CIDR block you are eligible to get these number of IPs, these many number of IPs, and you have used subnet 1 और subnet 1 का भी CIDR block आपने ये दे दिया. इसका मतलब है you have used the complete IPs, and now if you want to make a VNet peering over the VPN for this VNet, that is not possible because one of the requirements is to create a subnet named gateway subnet. This is my subnet 1, this is my this is one subnet I have, जिसका नाम है subnet 1, and I should have another subnet. I should have another subnet जिसका नाम होना चाहिए gateway subnet. Exactly जिस तरह लिखा है वो, not case sensitive. So if you use all of your IPs here, you're not eligible to do this. And if you cannot do this, you will not be able to create you will not be able to establish your connection. This is what I was explaining. So is it clear to all of you?
Yeah, got it.
Do we have such requirement when it comes to VNet peering? A simple VNet peering, not talking about the VPN. I will be always specific. If I'm saying VNet peering, so understood that either I'm talking about it is implied that I'm talking about global or regional peering, basic wala VNet peering. And if I have to ask anything about peering over the VPN, I will be specific about it. So can we do we have such a requirement on in VNet peering?
No.
No.
Okay. So this one here we required in our VNet peering, we do not require. Okay. Next thing is the connection will happen over the public internet or public network. This VNet peering जो within इसमें है, within subscription या different subscription में है, जहां पर भी है. What happens here when we do a VNet peering? इस तरह की कोई VNet peering करते हैं ना हम लोग. So it doesn't go to internet. यहाँ पर public IP की हम लोगों ने कोई use किया है क्या? नहीं. Why? Because both of them they are in Azure and they are using Azure backbone network. What is Azure backbone network? जो Azure का अपना फैला हुआ है पूरा cables है, fiber optic cables है. That is Azure's backbone network. But this can happen without internet as well. You do not require internet, but to travel this you will require internet. Why? Because यहाँ पर जैसे बीच में कोई gap आ जाता है, to fulfill that gap you will require one internet connection to fulfill that gap. तो ये दो subnets को अगर आप आपस में बात करना है, so you will require an internet connection and your data will be on the internet. Though it is in a virtual private network, but it will be on internet. For encryption traffic, this is the protocol which we are using. Not उतना कोई खास याद रखने वाली बात नहीं है. VNet, if in the VNet 1 only one gateway can exist. Okay. एक VNet में जो है multiple subnets हो सकते हैं, right? We can have multiple subnets until our IPs are available. We can have subnets. All of you agree to this?
Yes, bhai.
Okay. But a subnet with this name, gateway subnet, there can be only one gateway subnet. We cannot have multiple gateway subnet. In one VNet, you can have only one gateway subnet. Okay. Steps I have mentioned here. This is for you guys to practice whenever you do that at home. So follow this when if you forget any step. So इसको आप follow कर सकते हो. Here we are doing it. So let's start doing it. Here we are using two subscriptions or two tenants. One I will be using here. Let's say I'm using this subscription. Okay. Here, or we can use Hentis subscription because his balance is about to finish and today is the last day. So as it is going to. Where is it? This is the one, right?
सबसे ऊपर वाला.
Okay. So I am currently here. That's fine. Okay. So this is one tenant we are using, and one tenant Srishti will be using at her end. We are following exact same steps, so we don't have to see her screen. Later on, we will see connectivity कैसे होती है, communication कैसे होता है. I will log into both virtual machines at on my screen so you guys can see it. And I will be creating a Linux machine. It is much faster and easier. And Srishi, you can also create a Linux machine. That is fine if you're not able to log in. I will log into that machine and do it. And take whatever the IP address you get, take that address. But make sure while creating your subnet, you do not use the complete addresses. Okay. So I'll start with this. You can follow the steps. And guys, meanwhile, if you have any questions, please ask me. I'm creating and I can simultaneously I can answer your questions. Okay. So here I'll start creating a virtual machine. By default, I will get one VNet. Otherwise, I can create a VNet alag se. So I'll name this as I'll name this as Tsoft, and let me write down the details for you. Correct spelling, Srishti?
Yeah.
Okay, you take enterprises or any name you want to give, just to, so people should not have any confusion, और नाम थोड़े अलग अलग होते तो it is easy. अगर सब हर जगह हम my VM test VM ऐसे देंगे तो काफी confusion होता है, hence I'm using
Okay.
these names. So virtual machines name I'm using, that is company's name, guys. Virtual machines name I'm using Tsoft VM 002. Whatever name you're using, let me know. Maybe you can use something like this, up to you, but whatever you're using, let me know. So I'll keep adding everything here. It will be easier for these guys to understand. We could be in same region, we could be in different region, that doesn't matter. Okay, I'll go ahead with this one. Do not use any availability zone or anything. I'm going ahead with this image, you can use the same. Do not use SSH public key, use the password, and keep a generic password. You'll have to share the password with me.
Mhm. Can you also show the notepad where we have written the name?
You can take any name, just let me know. Or if you
Okay.
want to, you can take UTK
I'll
Enterprises
use it.
ENT, and then
Mhm.
UTK ENT hyphen VM00. Maybe you can type 005 instead of, I'm using 2,
Okay.
you can use 005.
Okay.
Use a password, a username. Okay, here make sure you select all of them. As of now, we are not working on ports, so we do not want any issues from ports. Otherwise, वो practical mix हो जाते हैं काफी. Disk leave as it is. When networking, when you come to networking, let me know once you are there, so I can guide you.
Okay, give me a minute.
Sure.
सोनू भाई,
Yes.
इब्राहिम, so ये सर्विस वीपीएन गेटवे सर्विस है जो हम कर रहे हैं आज,
Sorry.
जो सर्विस जो कर रहे हैं हम आज
Hmm.
वीपीएन गेटवे सर्विस है.
Right.
Okay.
Guys, I hope we are able to complete our practical today because it takes time. VPN gateway बनने में बहुत ज़्यादा time लगता है. Okay, so what I'm saying here is virtual network. This is the virtual network, and this is the address I have got. So here, can you say 16? With 16, I'm getting these many IP address, and here with 24, I'm using only these many. मतलब इसमें और subnet बनने का scope है. अगर मैं यहीं पर इसको पूरे 16 use कर लूँगा, right? So I will not be able to create another subnet under this VNet. This is what I was explaining. Clear to everyone?
Yeah.
So Srishti, make sure that you do not use this के सारे IPs यहाँ पर use मत करना. वैसे by default इसी तरह से कुछ setup मिलेगा. And though I will change my IP addresses, तो confusion कम होगा वैसे ही. And I'm calling it a public subnet. My subnet, I'm calling it public subnet 001. And my VNet's name is, let me change this name also. Tsoft VNet. I hope all of you are getting it. And this is my details. Here we'll have Srishti's details. I'm done with this. I'll go next. बाकी सारी details हमने काफी बार देखी हुई है, so I'm not repeating them. Creating. On which screen are you, Srishti?
Creating this virtual machine. Just give me 2 minutes.
Okay. Okay, guys, I'm ready with my machine. I'll go to my machine. And this is not Windows machine, so we won't have to run NetSH वगैरह कुछ नहीं करना पड़ेगा. We simply have to log in and we should be ready to go. I'm checking my IP address. So guys, my IP address for this machine is, this is my IP address. So I'm up and ready with my machine. We are waiting for Srishti's machine to get ready. If you're stuck somewhere, let me know.
So it's creating.
Meanwhile, you can ping me the password and user ID for that machine. So this is what you can explain in your interview, guys, that if they say कि कुछ काम किया है दूसरे company के साथ collaboration में ऐसे कुछ, so this happens most of the time जब कोई merger हो या किसी तरह का आपके दो कंपनियों में कुछ collaboration में काम चल रहा हो, तब जो है ये होता है. Srishti, do you are you working on my subscription or the other one, which is Badshah? Which subscription are you working on?
Badsha one.
And in your resource group, right?
Yeah, in my resource group.
Okay, I don't see anything is created yet.
I did create it. The deployment is in progress.
Is it? Okay, I'll wait. Right, now I can see it.
I've shared the credential.
Okay. So I hope, guys, you are getting it. See, this is company's name, this is company's name, this is machine name, this is machine name, this is my VNet under TSOF, this is Srishti's VNet. Then we have subnet. I have a subnet named public subnet. Now I'll check which subnet she has. She has a subnet named default. As you can see my screen, right? All of you?
Yes.
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 Her subnet name is default. What else did I mention here? This is my machine's IP, and I'll mention her machine's IP now. Did you deploy Windows or Linux?
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu,
Linux.
okay. And this is her machine's IP. I'll try to log into her machine now. Let's see.
Sir, only 1 minute remaining. I hope you're okay.
Sorry. Oh yes,
Only
yes,
1
yes,
minute.
yes. We'll start. I hope without any break. We'll try to start. But वैसे भी टाइम लग ही जाएगा. आज का प्रैक्टिकल में काफी टाइम लगने वाला है. So okay, now here I'm logged in. अब तक तो हमने प्रैक्टिकल शुरू भी नहीं किया, राइट? वी आर जस्ट डूइंग आवर बेसिक थिंग्स. I hope guys, all of you are getting it, right? Just because you see this screen on my this machine on my screen, it does not mean they are connected or they are in one network. कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं है, right? So if I try to ping my machine, I am on switch stage machine. You can check it here. जब भी confusion हो तो ये upper left corner यहाँ पर देख लो, आप लोगों को machine का नाम दिखता रहेगा. So from UTK, I'm trying to ping Tsoft machine. I told you यहाँ पर कोई error वगैरह नहीं बताएगा like Windows, but वो stuck हो जाएगा. And from Tsoft, I'm trying to ping UTK. Okay.